Hello. Okay. So today we're going to be doing a video where I create Pahkitew Island 2. Essentially the second season of Pahkitew Island, where we're going to get the same characters with a little bit, ignore the stuff going on right here, right now, because first I would like to talk to you about fulfilling a contractual obligation. Make sure to like and subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so that you can go and vote on my next video in the community polls. On occasion, there will be videos like this which will go straight in instead of, getting voted on, but most of the time we're going to try to make it a you guys vote type thing. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm gonna talk about this season. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is that we have Team Crazy Coconuts and Team Crazy Wacky Watermelons. And yes, I did get these ones from AI. Thank you very much. Beardo, Scarlet, Topher, Sean, Amy, Leonard, Sky versus Ella, Jasmine, Max, Dave, Sammy, Ella, Sugar, sorry. I don't know why I keep on calling her Ella. Maybe it's because she looks like an Ella. And Rodney. As you can see, we have cameos here, which I'm just going to say at the start, not actually going to say much, because Cody, Sierra, Cameron, and B are going to be working on creating the challenges, as this is a mechanical island, fully known to be a mechanical island right now. And now, Brick here, he's also created some of the ideas here. Now, let's move on to the interns and host part. As you can see, we have the normal Chef. Oh my gosh, that's her ship name, that's crazy. Chris and Chef. And you have Jeff here, as well as Ezekiel and Noah. Why Ezekiel and Noah? Well, Ezekiel's going to be Chris's coffee bringer for this season, the suck up, and Ezekiel tests the challenges. Chris allowed him to be back in exchange for him being the one who tests the challenges, and he brought Jeff back just to mess with Topher's head, as Topher thinks that he's a better host than Jeff. And this is going to be something that is going to get in his head over time, because Chris currently does not like Topher at all. And so yeah, first episode, we see Ezekiel getting shot out of a new mechanical cannon that is extremely firepowered. And so, yeah. Anyway, so the first challenge is Totem Pole Tower. Teams must stack barrels, crates, and other objects to build the tallest stable tower within a time limit. The catch is that each item must be carried from a supply point located across a swamp filled with various obstacles. So, looking at these teams, oh yeah, and we have Dave back. He's been on the island for a few months now, and he's not exactly feral, I'm gonna say, but he's kind of a little bit angry and insane. So the first team to lose is going to be Wacky Watermelons, because this is the team with the obvious more athletic characters with Sean and Sky, and Scarlet can do some stuff. Topher's okay right now, but he's a little bit blindside. Then we've got, woohoo, we have Leonard and Beardo again. So the person getting eliminated from the Wacky Watermelons is Rodney. Rodney gets distracted by Amy during the challenge. He tries to slow him down because she is going to try to be a villain to not just her sister this season. Okay, moving on. Okay. We have a capture the flag. Teams hide their flags in designated areas and then try to capture the other team's flag while defending their own. The first team to capture the opposing flag wins. So okay, give me a second. I'm thinking about like other stuff that I want to say about this season. I kind of have a plot going on, don't worry. Dave's here to win now. He doesn't care about no hoes. He's trying to win. At least that's what he thinks. Because Dave is naturally not the most stable guy, as you all know. So on the crazy coconuts here, we have one more than the wacky watermelons. However, it's not really going to help when you have two loud people here being... Yeah, we have Ella, sure, but we have Leonard, who's trying to cast spells of invisibility, and Beardo, who is just making noises. However, Leonard's the one going home this time, not Beardo. Because Beardo needs some improvement this season. So obviously two characters that we can't do much with are going to be going first, because obviously, like I said, we can't do much with them, huh? Like, these are parts of their personality that we can't change, because that's who the entire character is. Due to people being one-note characters from the season, it's harder to exactly take these characters and be like, okay, they're going to grow in some way, because that would be changing their entire character's stereotype. Not breaking out their stereotype, but changing their stereotype completely. Okay, moving on. The next one is sumo wrestling. Teams face off in sumo wrestling matches on a floating platform. The goal is to knock the opposing team's members into the water. The team losing this time is going to be Crazy Coconuts. So, Crazy Coconuts move on to the next round. No, wait, no. Crazy Coconuts move on to... Okay, sorry. Crazy Coconuts are going to lose this one. How? I think Sugar and Jasmine are going to kind of carry this for us. Plus, Dave is going to be put against Sky, and he is not going to hold back. He is going to hit her so hard that she doesn't know what's coming. So, this group goes against Topher, who didn't want to get his hair wet. So he is the third person eliminated. However, Chris agrees to let him in as an intern, as long as he helps Ezekiel test the challenges. And Chris decides that though he hates Ezekiel a lot, he decides to let Ezekiel in a little secret. He decides to say, Ezekiel, get him to do the hard parts of each challenges, because you're his new boss now. And so, Ezekiel gets Topher to test all the hardest parts of the challenges. Moving on to episode 4. Let me just type in intern. Okay, this one is a puzzle relay. Teams race to complete a giant puzzle. Each member must solve a smaller puzzle to receive a piece of the larger one. The first team to complete the large puzzle wins. So this is a race one, and we're going to have the wacky watermelons. lose this one. And who are we going to get rid of? Well, we're going to get rid of a character who doesn't have much growing potential, which is going to be between Max and Sugar. I'm thinking we're going to get rid of Sugar in this one. She had enough screen time in the last season. They decide she's a threat. They didn't really want to get rid of anyone else. Dave and Ella are growing a little bit closer. Okay, moving on, Balloon Pop. Teams are tethered together and must navigate through a field of balloons, popping as many as they can without getting tangled or losing team members. Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, which character will we get rid of? Well, we're going to go into Crazy Coconuts, and we are going to get rid of Sky. Why Sky, you ask? Well, Amy decides to spread a rumor around. Scarlet obviously knows that it's false. I'm not going to say exactly what that is, but that Sky's throwing matches for Dave. And, of course, Scarlet doesn't believe it, but she knows that she could be on the chopping block because she didn't do good in the challenge either. And she decides to get rid of Sky as well as Beardo, just not really knowing. Beardo's starting to warm up to people now like Sean, and Scarlet's kind of taking advantage of that. Amy's kind of taking advantage of his gullibility. Moving on to episode 6. This one's a survival challenge. Teams are stranded on different parts of the island and must survive for 24 hours, building shelters, finding food, and staying safe from wildlife. They are both put on complete different sides, with the Wacky Watermelons getting put on a increasingly cold side, and the Crazy Coconuts being put on a incredibly hot side of the thingy-mabobber. Yes, Lola of the island. Hello, I am Brain. I hope you guys are kind of enjoying the story going on. Sort of, because, you know, I just thought, you know what, we should have this go on. Okay. So, the team that is going to lose here is going to be Team Crazy Coconuts. Because they can't huddle together for warmth like the Wacky Watermelons can. And Dave and Ella are starting to become good friends. I'm not sure exactly if they're gonna get together yet, but Dave's starting to warm up. His anger is starting to go down a little bit, especially now that Sky's gone. So, the person who would be eliminated from the Crazy Coconuts was going to be Beardo, but this was a non-elimination round. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to episode 7. This one is a mud pit tug of war, where a classic tug of war, which is a classic tug of war match, but in the slippery mud pit, the goal is to pull the other team into the mud. The teams realize that, you know, Sugar being gone means this could really go either way. However, Scarlet ends up cheating, and the Wacky Watermelons lose. They decide to get rid of their most pathetic member, which is going to be, surprisingly not Dave, and Max. He says he'll get his revenge one day, but it's not gonna be this season. Don't you worry about that. Moving on to episode 8. Okay, this one's going to be a volcano eruption challenge. Teams must race to the top of the volcano and retrieve a specific item before it erupts. They can only choose one person from each team, and both teams don't get to say who it is beforehand. So, Wacky Watermelons chooses Jasmine, and the Crazy Coconuts chooses Sean. Sean, however, doesn't win the challenge, and he is eliminated from his team for failing, because they think, or at least Amy convinces them, that he threw the challenge for Jasmine because he knew that she was on the chopping block. Sammy and Jasmine are, having, a good friendship here. Sammy needs some character progression, so... Okay, moving on. This one is going to be... a fruit smash one. Teams compete to gather and smash the most fruit within a certain time limit. Oh, 1 second, just checking something. Might be important message. Okay. Let's see. So, this one is Fruit Smash. Teams must teams compete together and smash the most fruit within a time limit using only their hands and feet. And this is some hard fruit because it is made out of metal. The team that wins this is going to be the Wacky Watermelons. No, actually, I'm going to have Scarlet win this one. Since it's Dave and Ella versus Sammy and Jasmine, Dave and Ella decide to vote for Sammy, and Jasmine and Sammy decide to vote for Dave because of how he was in the last thing and how they think that Ella's an easy target. However, Dave beats Sammy in a final... I don't remember what it's called. It's the thing where two people get... The tiebreaker challenge. Yeah, tiebreaker challenge. I can't believe I forgot that. However, episode 9 is a non-elimination round. And episode 10? Well, episode 10 is the merge. So, we have our 7 contestants here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have our little group of Sammy and Jasmine, Ella and Dave. Then we have Scarlet and Amy are kind of working together half-heartedly. And Beardo is just chilling. He decides to try to make friends with Jasmine and Sammy because he started to warm up to the others, so surely he can warm up to them, right? And so that's what he starts doing. This time, episode 10, it is a very specific game where... Hold on. Why isn't this going right? Okay, so this one's going to be... log sawing challenge into a archery contest. The two people who win both things get immunity. the person who wins the log sawing contest is going to be Jasmine, and the person who is going to win the archery contest is surprisingly going to be Sammy. Scarlet takes too much time trying to calculate where it is. Since Amy can't get rid of her sister, she decides to try to go against someone who her sister is close to. However, her sister isn't close to Dave or Ella, which means that the person who's gotta go is Beardo. Sorry, Beardo. You were making good friends here, and I've seen a lot of Pahkitew Island fan seasons where you win, or you get really close to winning. However, this is not going to be one of them. I do think that a lot of you guys probably thought that he was going to win this, though, or get very far. And he did get fairly far, because he got 10 episodes of progression. Okay. This one is a interesting one, because there's a very specific thing going on here. So for this challenge, it's a endurance hang or a maze. Players can either try the hang, like hanging from a very specific bar. The longest person who kind of gets through while the other people finish the maze wins. Or you can just go into the maze and try to get first, because the person who gets through the maze first also gets immunity. So, if someone doesn't hang for the entire time while the others are going through the maze, then they lose. And they lose the time that it would take to try to get through one part of the maze. So, people have to choose which one. Dave is trying the bar, but he can't do it. Well, immediately, Amy and Scarlet go for the maze. Sammy tries her best to do the hang, but she can't do it. Jasmine touches the ground with her feet. Yeah, we're gonna make another tall joke. Okay, we're gonna make another tall joke. So she just kind of has to lift her legs up, which costs her extra energy. Somehow, Ella, when she takes her gloves off, has a strong enough grip to stay up there. So she's staying up on the bar. Dave tries to find his way around the maze. However, he sees Scarlet and Amy plotting. But he doesn't say anything. However, Jasmine also sees them plotting when running past to get rid of the others, and so she tells Amy and Scarlet that she's gonna tell everyone about this little alliance that they have. Scarlet says, "Oh, I don't think you want to do that." And then Jasmine gets knocked out. Why? Well, Scarlet hasn't completely lost control of the island, let's just say. Anyway, moving on, the person who makes it to the finish line is Amy, and due to Jasmine being out during the time of voting and Chris being incredibly impatient, Jasmine gets out here, and due to the fact that she's a pretty strong opponent, so people didn't really want her in here anyway. So let's see. We got rid of Rodney, who's an early boot. Leonard, who's an early boot. We got rid of Sugar, who's a late boot. Sky, who's a late boot. Max, who's a late boot. Sean, who's a late boot. Beardo, who's an early boot, but we got him some character progression. Made some friends. Jasmine was also a late boot, so we got a lot of middle boot characters here. Okay. So, in episode 12, we have... Hold on. Okay, sorry, I was just checking something in my notes of how I was gonna make this season. In this one, they are forced to do let's see, rope climb challenge into a running race, essentially just an obstacle course. The person who wins this is going to be Sammy. So the person going home is up to the alliance here of Amy and Scarlet. And who they decide to get out here is going to be... Well, it doesn't matter. Chris decides not to reveal the votes, because this one is a non-elimination challenge. But Chris got bored. He decided not to do the votes this time. Anyway, decided not to show it this time. Amy and Scarlet are thankful for that, that's for sure. Okay, so this one is a fishing contest. The person who's going to win this is going to be Scarlet, as she creates a fishing pole that is much more effective than the others. And Amy finds a immunity totem this time. Well, the other three don't really like Amy very much, so they tried to vote for her. However, Amy doesn't quite want to see her sister get out yet. She decides that she's going to go for someone who could possibly devastate Dave here and make her sister feel like she has one less friend, so she goes for Ella. Moving on to the final four here. We have let's see, rock climbing challenge. The person who wins this is Sammy, knowing that she's doomed. However, Scarlet decides to become sort of allies with Sammy because she realizes that she's one of the only ones who can tell them apart at this point. Or tell them apart well, at least. And she decides, I'm going to backstab Amy. So, Amy gets her dirty deeds done with. She should have just gotten rid of her sister in the first place. Moving on, we have our final three here. Sammy, Scarlet, and Dave. Dave realizing that he's not even doing this just to get back at Sky anymore. See? You guys know I hate Dave. You guys know that he's my least favorite character of all the characters in Total Drama. But maybe it's time to make him likable again. Okay? Maybe I might just be a very nice dude. I'm a nice person. And maybe we'll make Dave an okay character. Sammy and Dave kind of talk it out, realizing that they both don't trust Scarlet enough, and so Scarlet tries her best to cheat in the next race. However, Topher notices this, and since he's not really a fan of cheating, he tells Noah and Ezekiel, and they both get to work on sabotaging Scarlet, which works. Anyway, we have our final two here of Dave and Sammy. And who's going to win this? Well, obviously it's gonna be Sammy. I mean, Dave's got a lot of progression, but Sammy's winning the first thing in her life. This is the first time she's ever gonna win anything, and probably the last if her sister and parents keep on acting like that. So, we have Sammy and Dave in our final 2. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to go outside and compliment someone's hair. Spread a little bit of positivity. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!